All right, everybody. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day today. We're going to jump through a DroneSense OpsHub 101. Now, we've got a lot of information to cover up on this one. I am going to go kind of quickly. I did get double booked today, so this will go by pretty quick. Please feel free to ask any questions on here, and I'll try to answer them as we go through. Now, our agenda today for our OpsHub 101 will be an overview of how to build a mission, adding missions with code, magic video links, map layer manager, and feature layers, along with how to import an Esri layer, import an imagery layer, and then some questions and answers. Please feel free to put those into the Q&A at any point, and I'll answer them as we're going through here. Now, in our OpsHub here, this is when you log into web.dronesense.com and you access, there we go, the operations hub. You'll then can come in and we'll be building out our mission manager on how to create a new mission. This is where you'll go to create, look for the plus icon up here in your mission manager right there. When you click upon that, you should be presented with your mission options to create a new mission or add a mission with code. Once you click the plus icon, this option will come up, and then you can click the next button, and we will create our mission pop-up. The first part of this for creating a new mission will be the info screen where you can name the actual mission, set an ID, your start and end dates. That is automatically set for 24 hours in this. You can associate a COA if there's a COA in your organization that needs to be added to the mission. Add a descriptor, any notes, and if it's a training flight or not. Plus, give your teams permissions of which teams are allowed to fly within this mission. Now, the next tab here will be our sharing tab. You want to make sure to turn this on up here if you're going to share this mission with anybody that is a DroneSense or Axon Air user. You'll have the availability to give them the 6-digit alphanumeric code, and they can join your missions with you and fly inside of that, seeing your aircraft, everything you've built out inside of your maps, and you can see them appear upon your maps too, being able to drop icons and communicate back and forth that way. Now, this second slider here, you want to slide that on, so if anyone has that magic video link inside of your organization for this mission, excuse me, they will be able to see that video feed coming into your system. Now, lastly here will be our notifications tab. You turn on the notifications and enable it here, and that will allow you to set the trigger on drone takeoff or camera broadcast to send out notifications, either text or email, to either groups or contacts that you have identified inside the mission. Now, you can also set the limit the notifications 1 per hour, per 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or none. If you select no limit, that means every time there's a change in that mission, if someone's flying, broadcasting, using MSAT, it will send a text and an email out to the people that are identified here for it to go to. Now, in our create a new mission screen, of course, this is where you can build out all of your mission details, name it, all your start and end dates, those are automatically 24 hours, associate your COA, all that right here. Creating the new mission, this allows you to have all that share information, and then creating your notifications here. Now, in our mission options, to add a mission with a code, in the same area where you go to that plus, it'll pop up and you get the add mission with code option here. If you choose that, you will then enter that 6-digit alphanumeric code, and it will populate over here in your mission manager. Now, here's a little key icon on this. If it is a mission that is being shared, it shows up with a blue marker. If it is a mission that's not being shared, it shows up with the black. And I couldn't capture enough on here, but the missions that are shared with you from another organization show up with an orange marker on them. Then any active mission does show up with the eye being illuminated in green, showing that it is actively being used. The next side of this is inside of your mission. When you choose one of those missions and go into it, is to turn on your magic video link. Now, this is the magic video link icon, this little chain link icon here. When you click on that, it will bring up the magic video link. You can then be able to create your video link by clicking create video link. And that gives you the option here to actually name your video link, have your start and end dates. They are automatically set for 24 hours. If you'd like to carry that out for as long as you want, just change the time here to when you want that mission to end. And you'll create that video link. And on that, that'll give you the QR code that you could share out that sends that out in the notifications automatically and everything. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody's mowing around me and it's got my allergies just going nuts here. Now, next up is going to be your map layer manager. That's found in the upper right-hand side of your screen. That is the little icon at the very top. If you click on that, it will bring out and give you your map layer manager showing you my feature layers, org feature layers, mission feature layers, shared feature layers, Esri, and imagery layers. This allows you to build everything out in your system here. Now, the my feature layers is your own personal sandbox. If you build something in my feature layers, you're the only one that can see that set of icons, polylines, polygons, or any of that in there. Now, that can be sent up and you can share that to your org, mission, or shared layers anywhere in here very easily, either per item or your entire layer. Org feature layers are for across your entire organization. They allow you to share directly across everyone permanently on your OpsHub. And then mission feature layers is directly for those specific missions. In your feature layers, you can have the plus sign here, right here, will allow you to open up and give you the drop down pin here where you can have the drop pin, the custom poly icon, the custom polygon icon, square, rectangle, circle, or bring in KML points. Now, each one of these icons here allows you to create a custom set. So if you make this, make sure you're not just planning out your route on the first one. The first few clicks when you're designing this is to create that style. So like power lines or traffic flow or, you know, search area alpha or however y'all want to name it for your own naming conventions. The next setup on here is inside of this, once you've created these and you have your map, is going to be your feature layers here. Now, this first little one right here, the square with the arrow coming out the side, allows you to share your feature. So whatever icon, polygon, polyline you created, either to an org or the mission itself, or to a specific user if you want to. The next one allows you to export all of those KML, all of those features out as a KML file. So you can import it then into things like Google Earth or other GIS programs that you'd like to be able to import those feature layers that you've designed and built out to. Next up will be our Esri layers. Same area as the main area. When you go into your mission layer manager, you'll see Esri layers. When you click on the Esri layer, it will give you the availability to see those layers, unsee those layers, or add a layer. When you click the plus sign there, this allows you to add a layer and creating it where you can name it, put in that 32-digit alphanumeric key for that layer, give it a descriptor, and then what teams are allowed to use that layer on here, and then create it. Once you hit create, it will load up and it will show on the Esri layers as an active layer that you can use. And when you click on the eyeball sign for it right here, it will hide that layer and make it visible on your Operations Hub map. The next one on this is directly below the Esri layers will be our imagery layers. Just like on the Esri layer or my features, when you select imagery layers, it will come up with this area here. You can hit the actual plus sign here to create the imagery layer. You will name that folder. Now think of this as a folder because you can put multiple imagery layers in this folder. So if you have an area that you've been mapping out multiple times, you build a folder for it and move all of those layers into that folder. So you can then see the time lapse of how it affected that area. Give it a descriptor, what teams can use it, and then drag and drop those GeoTIFF or GeoPDFs in here. I've had the best luck with this running about a 50 to 100 meg file when you export from like Pix4D, React, Matic, or Terra, or Mapper, any of those orthomosaics. When you export it as a GeoTIFF or GeoPDF, I've had the best luck running either 50 to 100 megabyte files, and they give you really good clarity too. Like 300 feet with an M3, you can still see a water hose. Any questions, comments, concerns so far? Now, if you'd like to get credit for this one, I knew this would be a pretty short and sweet one. I'll hop directly into our system in just a minute. You want to scan that with your phone so that you can get credit, and you can do our little survey there. We'll send out a reply with a little certificate of completion for this. This is just the slide deck. I will be sharing our actual web.DroneSense real quick and going through some of these workflows. You'll give me just a moment. I'll leave that up there for just a minute longer. Now in here for, like I said, creating a mission, when you come into your login, it will bring you into your dashboard. Go to your operations hub here. In OpsHub, make sure you come up and go to the plus sign. To create a new mission, it automatically populates to create new mission. Hit next. Name it. The only ones that are required is to name it. Check your times for that mission. So stretch that out if you want. And then the team permissions of who can fly in it, whether it's a training mission or not. You can come over and set your share code here by simply sliding this over, generating that automatic 6-digit alphanumeric key. Enabling the code for the automatic notifications of the people you've identified over here in notifications to see that QR code in that magic video link. So you can then turn that on, either notify groups in here or contacts that you have established inside of this to be automatically notified upon drone takeoff or camera broadcast start, and save that mission. Once that mission has been created, the next step you normally want to do is come into that mission, go to the magic video link here, and create your magic video link, naming it, stretching out that date for use, because it is automatically set for a 24-hour disablement of it. It will show up as red if it is disabled. And that is what will give you your QR code, allow you to copy it to your clipboard and send that out, and allow that link to be on the actual automatic notifications that are sent out via our text or email services. Next up on this will be, if you have, once you've created that, at any point, one thing I did want to cover, you need to share a tab, a video stream, or a YouTube, Facebook, or a profile that you may have that you'd like to share. You can come into this icon right here, which is Share Media to Mission. Click on that. Give your call sign, your display name, and then select your video source here. When we come in here, I can choose desktop window or camera. I'm going to choose desktop window. I will come in and do the slide deck I had earlier and share that. I'm going to come back to my DroneSense now. Now that will be shared as a device on this mission. So I can come in here in this mission, see exactly where that device is, turn it on so it does appear, and you can see that data now. That is also sent out to everyone that has a magic video link, can choose that layer and see that on their phones, tablets, or computers. And if you ever want to display more of those magic video links that are sent out, the easiest way is on a computer to set up and have tabs open or windows open so that you have each one of those feeds coming into a nice large view if they're viewing it that way and not here in OpsHub. If they are in OpsHub, they can all be stacked out here to the side. You can slide this over if you need to adjust it. Of course, you can shrink back anything here. And we come into the mission layer manager, the map layer manager, sorry, here, and see any of the feature layers, mission feature layers, my feature layers, organization feature layers, and then shared feature layers. Like one of the ones that was shared with us is our ACL festival held down in Austin. I can turn this on real quick, and now we can see everything that was designed out here zoom in, see where all these actual stages are and everything. Let me turn this on to a satellite view. So that's a satellite view of this location. We'll shrink that back a little bit and zoom out. Now, when we were talking about those Esri layers earlier, or not Esri, sorry, the imagery layers earlier that we brought in, this is one of the ways that that imagery layer becomes very apparent. And this is visible on the remotes with everything we've done here for your annotation here. And then also with our advanced geospatial, we can bring in this layer here. And now we know where every one of those stages are. We have an updated, almost Google-like, Earth-like view here. And I can zoom all the way in and see traffic cones, water hose, and electrical line. Lots of granularity here on this map. Next one I wanted to show up on this one, of course, is going to be our Esri layers. Let me turn this off real quick. In Esri layers, one of the ones I brought in with the Texas Railroad Commission was all the pipelines across the state of Texas. Let me do a quick refresh here. I probably have too many windows open. We come back into our training op. Zoom back in here. Actually, I'm just going to go to a DroneSense map here for our base layers. I'm going to bring in an Esri layer real quick. We have all the pipelines across the state of Texas displayed here. And this is a massive data set. With all the information for those. Or we have another integration from Esri was over in Georgia's. They brought in all their traffic cameras are visible in this. So we can then come in and see each one of these. Now, these are just still shots on this one. Oop. And you can come into that still shot. They do have the live feed that is fed into theirs, but that does take an active password. Thank you, Mike, for putting in that Esri layer support article. It's over in the chat if y'all are looking for it. Now, one thing we can also do in here, and one thing I love about DroneSense, is we have the availability to set up and add contacts in our system. They're not just members. So if this is someone that's just going to get feeds from the magic video link of your MSAT devices or your drones being sent out there, and they don't need to have login credentials to get into any of the OpsHub or anything like that. They just want to know what's going on and have that video feed. You can always come in here and add them as a contact. First name, last name, email address, and phone number. Does require the email address, so it saves it on the actual server. And you select if they're going to get a text or an email for that contact. And then anyone added into this can be automatically set up into your, or you can add them into your automatic notifications on a mission. So we'll come in here. We can go into the information here, notifications, and then you add those contacts in here. Now on this one, you can't really tell, but inside your contacts manager over here, anyone that has member credentials, username and password, all of that shows up with the circle silhouette and normally a headshot that you've added in. Anyone that is just a contact has just a silhouette on them. So just having that silhouette makes them just a contact added into the system. Then with any of those contacts, you can come in and create groups like command staff, or you can make one that's like pilots that can be added into groups for that automatic notification. One other great thing about this is in any contact, I can come in and direct text message that contact. So it's a one-way text that can be sent out to them long as their phone number is on here. If they are a member, they do have to have email and text notifications turned on to receive it. They have to have text notifications turned on to receive a text and email notifications to receive an email under the teams and members page in their profile. We do have the availability in here too to look up any address that you'd like to go to. So I can put in an address. We can go directly to that address. As you can see, I've dropped an icon on them. We have the availability to come in here if you need at any time. This is great for any of those traffic reconstructions and crashes. We have a linear measurement tool. So if you fly it with your drone of where the accident started and where it ended, you can always come in and follow those breadcrumbs and get a measurement of that. Or at any point, you can use our area measurement tool here to come in and do a quick area measurement, telling you the size of that, and that is fully convertible. So I can take it all the way down to square inches, all the way up to square miles, or like most of us that measure area, it's normally in acres, especially if you're flying a burn area or anything like that. We do have the availability in here too to see the exact location your mouse is in OpsHub, and you can drop this down, drop a temporary marker that can copy that GPS location where you mark that. You can copy that to that clipboard, go into your contacts here and say you need to get it to a group of pilots. You can come into pilots, bring that up, and you can then come in here, put that exact location, hit enter, and it will send that out to any of those people that you have in that group or any person inside of contacts very quickly and easily. Next up on this is, of course, going to be just running through a couple of these, like your feature layers. If you come in here to add a layer, you can go to the plus sign, use our point features here. We drop that down. It's about 1,100 icons in this that can be used, fully searchable. And we can come in and select any of those. So if we did a blocked or no access down this road, I can easily drop that there. Hit save. Now, if this is in a mission, it will show up on the mission that the drone is flying in if you drop this in a mission. If you drop this in my feature layers, it is only on your feature layer. If you want to send that up to a mission, you simply come right here to send all features to another layer if you want to send them all, or I can go in and click on that layer, go to send, and then choose which mission or org level I'd like to send that to. Now down here towards the very bottom, we do have the little stack of squares here. This is all the Esri layers that we automatically load in our system, such as airports, UAS facilities, current wildfires, recent active hurricanes, weather watches. So I can see all the weather watches in the area. Bring up the details on that one. It's really nice during hurricane season. It does track it very well. We can also see all the wildfires across the nation that are being reported, your national grid, and that does scale. Facility maps for all your ceilings for your airports. And of course, the location of all the airports. There are a lot of little airports all over the US. Then down here at the very bottom, we have all of our base layers. These are all preloaded in here, everything from your street map to your clarities to your topographic. So you can actually come in and see all your topographic maps. Firefly imagery tends to be one of the most up-to-date satellite views. All sorts of base layers in here. Now that's it for our general overview for our OpsHub. This was a fairly quick run through of this. Again, this is just a 40,000 foot overview of OpsHub in this video here and this training. If y'all would, I am going to bring back up our OpsHub and our credit for completion of the survey. Bring that up as a slideshow so you can scan that. If you would like to get credit for this, can you please scan that, fill out your information there, and complete the survey, and then send that in, please, so you can get credit. Well, thank you very much for coming to our basic training. Sorry to rush this one through. If you have any questions or any need any help, please reach out to us. Also, don't forget to check out the support.dronesense.com, sign up for what's coming out and what's new in our system, get up on our mailing list for our what's new area inside of there, and stay informed. Thank you all for your time, and please let us know if we can help you all in any way.